6 months ago, I started the Lightsaber build series, and if you haven't watched the first two videos for that, I would definitely recommend watching those two videos before starting this one. But people in my comments have been asking me, where's part 3 at? And it's been 6 months and I still haven't uploaded that video, so I think it's finally time to get started. So in the last video, we completed the hilt of the saber, and now it's time to create the actual blade. I'm going to leave the hilt alone, and I'm going to go ahead and make a copy where we add on the blade. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and rename this. Let's go Vader's hilt plus blade. Now, once that's done, I'm just going to come on over to the front end, and this is going to be a quick, just an extrude on the top. And we're going to make this 12 inches, and we're just going to add a draft inward just to give it that inward plume almost, and that's going to be 0.5 degrees inward. Alright, once that's done, we're just going to go ahead and round off the top, 0.2 inch fillet. But now we have to make this nice and red, so we're just going to add an appearance to these two features. So we're just going to go ahead and right click, add those two features, and we're going to add an appearance. So we're just going to change the RGB value, so 251 red, 14 green, and 23 blue, and for the alpha, 0.56. So once we've created that, it should be nice and, I guess, somewhat translucent and red. So we have completed our Vader's hilt plus blade. Now that's all. Now all that's left to do is create the retractable blade. Congratulations on completing Darth Vader's lightsaber, the hilt, and the blade. But now the next step is to create the blade with the retractable, the lightsaber with the retractable blade. So we're gonna head back to the hilt, and we're gonna do something a little drastic. We went ahead and did a delete face on that top end. So just to go through that again, we have this top face, and we're gonna go ahead and click on it, and we're gonna delete that face, and we're gonna leave it open. So doing that is just gonna make this a surface. That means none of the part no longer has any thickness, and this will make things just a little easier for us when we're putting the blade inside the hilt and everything like that. Next thing we're gonna do is to create a new part studio. We're going to go to the top plane, and we're going to sketch a new circle, and this one is going to have a radius of 0.65. Now that we've done that, we're just going to hit OK. We just want that circle for now, and we're going to extrude that 4 inches upward with a draft of 0.5 degrees inward. And once we've done this, we're just going to delete that face on the top. So now this just basically hollows out the entire point, the entire part, making it a surface. Now the whole plan for this is just going to make it like almost like a toy lightsaber. You know, the ones that you get at Disneyland, where there's different parts, and then when you whack them all out, when you whack it, all the different parts come out and they click into place. That's basically the concept behind this. We're going to create 4 parts just like this one, that gets smaller and smaller in the diameter each time. And they're all going to fit into each other at the end. That's why we're making the tops hollow, so all the parts can fit in easily. So the next step is just to come onto the top and figure out what the radius of this, or the diameter of this top part is. And the diameter is 0.58, and it looks like 0.580, but once you click on this down here, it shows the exact length. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that dimension for now, and that is going to be the diameter of my next circle. So I'm going to come on over to the top, and I'm just going to create a circle somewhere out, and then do a dimension with the previous length. Now that I've done that, I have my new circle, and we're just going to do the same thing from before. We're going to make this 4 inches up, draft 5 in, oh, that's 0.5. And then I delete that top face, of course, and leaving it open. So I went ahead and did that 2 more times. So now we have 4 kind of hollowed out cylinder shapes. So we're going to come on over to the front, and just on this last one here, I haven't removed the top face yet. I'm going to fillet that so it makes it nice and round, and it is going to be 0.15. Perfect. Now that we've done this, I'm just going to go ahead and change all of these parts to that custom color that we have, or these surfaces. So 3 of these were going to be surfaces because we took off the top, and this last one here is going to be an actual part because we didn't take off the top face, we filleted it instead, so that last one is going to be a part. So I'm just going to come on over to this part studio, and I'm going to change this to that custom color that we did before. So I'm just going to do that with all 4. And this is that red translucent color that we created in the previous part. Now that we've done that, we have created all the parts for our retractable blade. So now that we've completed the blade, we can actually go ahead and create the retractable lightsaber in an assembly. So let's start by creating an assembly, renaming this to retractable lightsaber. Alright, that's done, and we're going to have to hit insert and make sure that it includes surfaces so we can take in the actual hilt. So I have the hilt, my lightsaber hilt, and I'm going to come on over to the bottom and move this to the origin. So we're going to move to origin and then come on over to the Z-axis and anti-align with Z so that that top part is pointing upward. Fix it so it doesn't move around, and now we can move on to creating the blade. So some of the part of the blades are surfaces. We're going to hit surface and we're going to move the blade in. So the blade is basically just going to be free moving. It's going to be kind of like those toys that you see in Disneyland where it shoots out. But we need a place to anchor this blade, and we're going to do that with a mat connector. So we're going to come on over to this inner ring and hit that inner ring just right here. That one. That's kind of just parallel to that inner ring, is going to then get moved down negative 4.25 inches. And that should be, well, we're going to be moving this down, and it's already in the negative direction, so this would just be 4.25 then. So that we just want that to come on over to the bottom. So now that mate is there, we want to first fasten the biggest part of our blade, the widest part. So this is going to get fastened down to that mate, and it's going to hold the rest of the blade. So we are going to hit fasten and fasten this to the bottom. And once that is good, hit OK, and that should just be perfectly fitting inside the blade. I'm going to hide the hilt so it doesn't get in the way of everything else. And now we're going to be using slider mates to create that actual animation. So slider mate, and we're going to create that mate from the bottom of the second piece to the first one. Hit OK, but before we do that, we actually have to create limits. So we want this to be perfectly constrained with just inside the blade. So we want to make this so it doesn't move out all over the place. So we're going to have to add limits to the animation. We want to create this so that it moves only 4 inches up, so it doesn't get in contact with the other parts of the blade. So negative 4 and 0, since the axis is pointing downward. I'm going to hit OK with that, and let's go ahead and give this a quick test run and see if this even works. Yep, that goes up, and it doesn't go any further down, so it doesn't interact with any of the bottom part. So we're going to move this up, and we're going to hide this part. So we're only working with this part right now, and we're just going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to do a slider mate from that bottom to this bottom, and once again the same limit, negative 4 to 0. And we're going to hit OK, just test this out real quick. Perfect. Hide this, and we have one last one to do. Okay, limit, negative 4 to 0, and now we're done. So just going to pull this back up to make sure it works, and that's perfect. So let's show up all the pieces and let's display what we've created. We have finished the entire lightsaber. So let's try out the whole animation. So we're just going to drag it all down and drag it all the way back up, and it's beautiful. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you want more CAD content, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Stay tuned for a bonus part 4, where we're going to talk about rendering with Fusion 360. Thank you, and see you next time.